How's it going, guys? Pam Films here, and today we're going to be reacting to episode 9 of Agatha All Along. This episode is titled Maiden Crone. And like I said for episode 8, it's probably going to be a little bit later. Like, I assume it's probably going to come out around Saturday-ish, maybe close to Sunday. Who knows? It is what it is. Now, speaking of last episode, we had a lot happen. We had Agatha die. We had Wiccan's big suit reveal, I guess, like his comic reveal, like his outfit reveal, right? We had the big reveal that Billy was responsible for creating the road. We had Jen get her powers back because she was actually bound by Agatha indirectly. Because Agatha put scams in a certain place. Jen went there. Boom. She lost her powers. And then we had Billy potentially bring back Tommy because he saw a boy drowning. Then the boy wasn't drowning. And, you know, Billy asked the question, like, am I killing this boy so that my brother can live? And Agatha said, no, sometimes boys just die. Which is what happened with William, right? William Kaplan. He was in a car crash, he died, and then Billy took over, right? But yeah, I mean, we had a fight with Agatha and Rio. Agatha got her powers back. We had the Lilia thing come into play with her saying hit the deck and stuff, and, you know, it kind of helped out, but not really at the end of the day because, I mean, Agatha still died, but, you know, it is what it is. Weird thing is, like, Death is grieving at this point in time because of, you know, obviously she cared about Agatha, she loved Agatha in a weird way. I guess she could never kiss her because, I mean, it would kill her. Unless it was, like, I don't know if it was the kiss itself or if it was because of, like, Agatha taking her powers or something like that. I don't know. It's just weird to me that they killed Agatha off in the penultimate episode. Like, there's still one episode left. Like, where are we gonna go? I mean, by the end, there was a boo, so I assume Agatha's turned into some kind of spirit. Fuck knows how she's done that. Or maybe she put a spell in place in case she did die to, like, save her. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that basically sums it all up. So let's stop doodling around with this shitty intro and get right into the fucking episode.
Am I killing this boy so my brother can live?
No. I'm so, like, so much happened at the end of last episode that it's just like, well, now what? Wait, is this Agatha backstory? 1750. She's giving birth? Yep. No, what is she doing? Oh, I thought she was going to cut the baby out. Like, Jesus. Oh! Wait, why is Death hurt? Is she going to die? Like, was she going to die in childbirth? But they've already met at this point because she knows what this is. I'm confused. How did they meet?
You do this and I'll hate you forever. Please let him live. Please, my love.
I can offer only time.
How much time?
Wait, so she let Nicky live? She's gone. So he was supposed to die in childbirth. So Nicky was supposed to die in childbirth. Rio allowed the kid to have more time. So does that mean the kid's going to just die eventually anyway? Or taken, or whatever?
Is the little one well?
Blessed be, we have not eaten for days.
Has the baby a name? Join us.
Bit creepy. Join us. Let me guess, she takes her powers, right? Yep. Agatha's fucked.
I think we're going to be very good at this.
6 years later.
Surely you have kin nearby? Shall we search together?
Wait, no! A thief! Stop! Is it true, boy? Do you shame your mother?
One can always rely on the kindness of witches.
Give me that. Thief! Return it!
Yep, that's fucked.
Why do you kill witches?
Because I need power.
To survive.
Could we not stay with the witches and survive with them?
No.
Why?
Because then they will try to kill us.
Why? Walk, walk, walk the road. I walk the windy road.
You walk this road alone, do you?
Wait, so they made the ballad and it's just passed down. Also, wait, isn't a goat another like thing of like related to the devil?
I can cast illusions. I can control a feeble mind. But I cannot heal you. I cannot protect you from what's coming.
I guess he does kind of look a little like eventually he's gonna die, right?
Where all that's wrong is right.
And all that's bad is good. Through many miles of tricks and trials.
So Agatha correcting Jen on the lyrics means she was right then because she made the song. It was Agatha All Along.
Windy road.
And they change it to witches.
Down, down, down the road.
Down the witch's road.
Young boy, wherever did you come upon such a curious song?
Oh,
Come, let us find you a warm meal.
my mother needs me home.
Wait, what?
Nicky.
Well, where could he have gone? Like, there's no way he's gone. It's a fucking massive field. Like, where could he have gone? There's no way he ran that fast. That's ridiculous.
We can kill more witches tomorrow.
We can kill more witches tomorrow.
Hold your hand in mine.
It's kind of wild that they made the ballad. So, Agatha knew the road didn't exist, so she must have been shocked as fuck when the door opened. Also, I feel like this would have been better for last episode, you know what I mean? Like, last episode felt like the end. This feels like a, you know, it's a bit weird for this to be like a finale. She's still ominous, but she's not as ominous as she was in the end. So he just went with her? Like he knew he was going to die? Like why did he just go with her? Maybe they talked every night or something like that? So I don't know. At least take him when she's awake, you know what I mean? Like, that's fucked. Because at least she'll be able to say goodbye to him.
No, I want more time. I want more time.
Like, why didn't she let her say goodbye?
Here with you, my child. If one be gone, we carry on.
Wait, I thought it was connected to the darkhold though. Like, why did she freak out when she saw the darkhold?
Hey then.
How dare you? Who are you?
Forgive me. I thought you may know the way.
The way to what?
The way to what?
The witch's road.
The Witch's Road. You know the ballad, and I'm in great need.
You're dead. See? Now that's going to spread throughout time. And she makes a coven, kills a coven, gets power.
I will show you the way to the road. I know it by heart. We must gather a coven.
And then she just goes throughout history killing all the witches.
Down the witch's road.
There we go. Yep. The biggest difference is Lilia, Agatha let loose that she could take power, right? Because she tried to do that to our coven. Jesus. How many have she killed? Then fucking facial expressions. And then she tried to do it here, but something changed. Wait, that would have been pretty awkward, because Sharon doesn't have fucking powers.
Because all I see are has-beens.
What
and
is that?
clones.
She's like, wait, what the fuck? Hang on a minute. Something's wrong here. But it's blue, like Billy's magic. Like, she knew there wasn't a road from the very beginning, because she made up the road. Is she a ghost now? Like, what the fuck? She's dead.
Boom!
She is a ghost.
And now I'm a ghost. Can you dig it?
You die.
By the way, I did not sacrifice myself for you. Still figuring out the rules here, but
How's she able to do that? How's she a ghost? She's always finding a way to, like, cheat death.
Did I make the road?
Yep.
you actually did something interesting with your power.
The road wasn't real until you made it real.
I mean, that much was kind of explained to us, but, you know.
If I made the road, like if I literally made the road, then that means that I
Killed.
It means that I killed them. Are they ghosts too?
No.
Lilia, in the tower.
That was her choice.
Mrs. Davis.
Who?
She didn't even.
Who? Even dead, she's still fucking a menace.
Don't give yourself too much credit.
Why is she doing this all the
Actually
time?
do the math on it. You saved a life.
Jen's alive. Jesus, where the fuck has she been? She's been stuck underground for that long. Alright, she made it. Westview. Off she goes. Just like Wanda.
I'll never get used to this.
We'll see.
So I assume Billy's the only one that can see her because of his powers, right? It's still there though. What the fuck is she doing?
Crime. Just give me what I want and I'll be on my way.
The brooch?
Hello? I'm right here.
Looks like analog magic. Or not. Ah, yes. Finally!
Naliese Phantasma.
What is he doing?
Wade ad lucem. I'm banishing you.
Oh.
No.
Time to go toward the light or into Rio's toxic embrace, or wherever you deserve to spend eternity.
You think you could just send me into the afterlife with an incantation and a personal item?
It worked on Wanda's spell.
5
Wade ad
seconds
lucem.
ago, you all
Relinque
bent
terra.
out of shape about killing witches!
You're already dead! Lucem. Relinque terra.
She can actually grab it?
Naliese Phantasma.
Give it back! It's mine!
Why are you still here? Why won't you just die?
Because I can't face him!
Oh. Face. Nicky? It's kind of crazy though, like the one thing they created together, like Nicky and Agatha, was this ballad, and then she used that just to kill more witches.
I'm sure he would forgive you for whatever you did.
But how does this explain the darkhold shit? Because she, like, in episode 3, she, like, heard the baby crying, and then she pulled the cover off, and it was the darkhold. And then she was, like, scared of it. Like, I thought that was responsible for Nicky dying or some shit.
You picked it up.
Well, I'm a quick study. We can make a good team.
I mean, you can't kill her. She's too charismatic to be killed off.
You tend to kill my coven members.
Yeah.
So do I.
Sean Davis, Alice Wu.
One door closes.
And another one opens. We're back into the normal world.
Let's go find Tommy.
Really? Don't do it. Ah! Fuck. Really? I'm a little underwhelmed with that. Like, how did the darkhold play into it? Like, how did she meet Rio? Like, is this another situation where there should have been 10 episodes instead of 9? What's a conclusion? So now they're just gonna go find Tommy. Which, is that a setup for Agatha All Along Season 2? Or is that a setup for Vision's Quest? Or Vision Quest? Would Agatha show up in that with Billy? Like, towards the end of that show? And then that would they'd find the brother, and then it leads into finding Wanda at that point. I don't know. Because like I said, I've mentioned it before, like, obviously the brothers together is going to be more powerful than them apart. Because I assume, okay, Billy's wanting his brother, but I assume Tommy wants his mother, right? So that, and then when they're both together, they're going to both want the same thing, right? They're going to want their actual mother back. Interesting that most of this episode was kind of a backstory episode, just kind of explaining what happened to Nicky and what happened to the origins of the Witch's Road, right? It all began with Agatha. It was Agatha all along, funnily enough. So that's a nice little reveal, but I find it even funnier that throughout the history of Agatha, she was literally just doing the Witch's Road as a scam and a con just to get powers out of witches. And she tried to do that in the second episode of this show, which then makes it even more fucked that Lilia, sacrificed herself because she loved the Coven so much, but the Coven was based on a lie that, Agatha wanted to take up the powers. But I just find it interesting that, okay, she was going to try and take the powers, but how would that have worked with Sharon? Like, she would have killed all these, like, she would have killed Jen. I mean, Jen's bound too, so she wouldn't have been able to use magic. Alice and Lilia would be the only ones that would be able to even do a spark, and then there'd be just two of them left. But I don't know how it works. Like, maybe if she starts absorbing a witch's power, she can absorb someone else's, like, life power or something like that. I don't know how it works. Like, she could direct that power towards someone else and then give someone else powers and then absorb it or something. I don't know. I just love it, like, how she was so confused when there actually was a door. Like, wait, this has never happened before. Now it all makes sense. And then she kind of looked at the camera like, I know. Like, I know who did this. It's obvious. Because the door appeared and then Billy came running down. And it was blue, too. It's a blue door. A blue light. But yeah, it's interesting that Agatha is a ghost now, and the reason she is a ghost and she is sticking around is because she doesn't want to face Nicky. So that's interesting. And I guess Nicky was supposed to die in childbirth. And then, Rio gave him some time, but he still had to go eventually anyway. Which is interesting, though, because was it... how does it work? Because every day it seemed like Agatha and Nicky tried to trick some witches into Agatha getting powers, but the day they didn't do it is the day Nicky was taken by Rio. Maybe it's just coincidence, I don't know. Also, I like how different, like, Rio was in terms of, like, how she behaved towards, like, Nicky versus, like, Alice last episode, you know what I mean? Like, it felt like she was more, like, gentle in the way she took Nicky, But why did Nicky just suddenly go with her? I guess he knew, because he must have looked back and saw his body or something like that, I don't know. The biggest problem I have right now, though, is the darkhold. I know they said it was all lies, like, she makes up them stories to, sound more badass, I guess, right? And not be this vulnerable, like, witch. That's probably why, Agatha does it. But I do find it weird that she was so freaked out by the darkhold. Like, in episode 3, when she uncovered the blanket, and then she just saw the darkhold, and then she, like, fell to her knees, and then she started, you know what I mean? Like, that was weird to me. Especially now that, okay, the darkhold had nothing to do with Nicky being gone. So, like, why did that make her shit herself? Is it because the darkhold brought, like, the worst parts of her out or something like that? I don't know. Like, how does the darkhold play into it? And, I guess the biggest question, how did Rio and Agatha meet? Because clearly in that first scene, when she's giving birth, they've already met. Because, like, Agatha's calling her, like, my love, and, she knows what this means if she shows up, right? Like, I don't get it. Like, how did they meet? Like, I feel like that would have been a pretty good time to reveal it, right? But a part of me maybe just blames that on runtime. Because this episode, yet again, Marvel, you have a finale, like, you have 2 episodes to conclude the show, like, on the same day, and then the finale, the final episode of the show, is only, like, 30 minutes-ish. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not enough time to wrap up everything. I mean, last episode was decently long. It had a lot happening. That's why I feel like, I guess like, last episode was like the finale, and then this episode's more like the epilogue, but it also doesn't tie up a lot of loose ends. So that kind of sucks, and it suffers that same fate as every like Marvel show, where like they just don't stick the landing towards the end. But the show itself surprised me. Like, I enjoyed the show. I thought it was fun as fuck. You know, like, I enjoyed every episode. It's just a shame, you know, obviously now it's over. But they, I think they nailed it. Like, every week a lot of fans were speculating what would happen. It's done pretty well, like, overall, like, with the reception, especially episode 7, right? I like the story. I like, obviously, Agatha, I think, as a character is more intriguing to me now than she was. Because there's more layers to her. But, you know, could this show have been something bigger? Maybe. It felt... The problem with this show, like, especially now, it feels like more of a setup for another show. You know what I'm saying? Like, it stood its own ground a little bit, but then it just feels like, oh, it's all just setup, you know? Because it's going to be a trilogy of shows that lead into the return of Scarlet Witch or some shit, maybe. Like WandaVision, Agatha All Along, and then Vision Quest. Unless it's going to be Agatha All Along Season 2, I don't know. I will say, though, I don't like how they did the pacing for this one. I thought it was a bit weird that they had, like, most of this episode be like a flashback, and then the last, like, 10-ish minutes be, like, what's next. To me, that was a bit weird because, like, as a finale goes, like, that's probably not how you should do it, like, in terms of pacing. Like, I feel like episode 8 should have been that. Like, have the setup and have, like, oh, the big twist of, like, Agatha faked the road never existed. But I guess that would be a better reveal in the final episode rather than the penultimate episode, but does it matter? I mean, we've got both of the episodes in one day. I mean, it was still a good episode, though. I enjoyed it for what it was, but I do feel like certain elements were kind of let down. And I think that's mainly just down to pacing and just runtime. Like, if they had more time in the episode to flesh it out, or this could have been a situation where there was supposed to be 10 episodes, but they had to cut back to 9. Because, I mean, that did apparently happen to WandaVision. Makes sense with the way WandaVision ended. It just felt like, well, that's it. Like, the final, like, few episodes of WandaVision were a bit of a letdown. And I guess you could argue, like, these 2 episodes that came out today were a bit of a letdown, like, especially following episode 7. Right? Because I just wish they touched on more of the things that I wanted to know about. Like, how did they meet? Right? I think that's a big, like, interest. Like, what made Agatha see death for that first time? And why did she see death? And how did they fall in love and all that shit? Like, how could they fall in love? Like, what was the one thing that made Rio fall in love with Agatha? Is it because of how many people Agatha killed that made Rio fall in love with her? Or something like that? I don't know. Yet again, with Nicky, they had the goat this episode, right? And I mentioned it in the reaction, but the goat is usually like a symbol of the devil or something like that. Like the devil's pet or some shit, right? Or like it's like I can't remember if it's like a form of the devil or something. Yet again, what is with that devil imagery? You know what I'm saying? Like, or like not just the imagery, but the way they're like teasing it. Like Nicholas Scratch is a name for the devil. The goat that Nicholas Scratch is using is like connected to the devil, right? I find it wild though that Agatha was using her son to scam witches into killing them, and the kid was just fine with it. I find it weird how friendly a lot of the witches are. Like, they basically are. They're not as bad as, like, you know, other witches in media, and like how a lot of things like sum them up. Obviously, witches never really existed but you know, it was just people being paranoid and all that shit, right? I just like how they're just friendly, you know, and Agatha's like the one bad one. Like, I mean, she said like she's a wicked witch. She's based on her, which would make sense. I mean, like, Agatha's existed for a very long time. I just find it even more wild that she created the bird. And I find it funny as fuck that she corrected Jen on the lyrics, because of course she would, because she fucking made the song with her son. And now I guess Jen's gone off with her powers. She was stuck underground for a while, I guess. So, you know, she had to, like, pull herself out from the ground. But she managed. Bit weird, though, because, like, they established that that final little trial last episode was in Agatha's basement. And Agatha was the only one to get out of, like, the basement itself, you know what I mean? While Wiccan, or Billy, just kind of vanished. And then, oh, so did Jen, but then Jen, I guess, ended up by the Westview sign, underground. Like, I don't get how that works. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I enjoyed the show overall. I'm excited to see where they go with these characters, because obviously they're going to do something with them. But I don't know, I mean, the MCU's been doing this weird thing lately, where they've set up stuff and then just never executed on them for a very long time. Right, so the biggest example, I guess, would be the Kang stuff, right? But, I mean, we kind of know why they're not going to touch on that. I just hope they do something with that Council of Kang shit. Either just, like, wipe them out and have it happen on screen. You know what I mean? Like, maybe Doom does it or something like that. That would be better than just not acknowledging it, right? Like, there's been the setup of, like, the Young Avengers. There's been the setup of, like, Shang-Chi and stuff. Like, nothing's happened, right? Like, there's been a lot of setup for shit, and none of it has paid off, which is just weird. Like, we're finally getting a payoff to, like, Fisk being mayor and stuff, potentially in Daredevil Born Again. But outside of that, there's not a lot of payoff that's been happening with these setups. Like, the Blade setup in Eternals, I mean, the Eternals setup itself, like, that's not coming back. So, I don't know what the fuck is happening. Like I said, these 2 episodes will be out probably late Saturday. Maybe pushing into Sunday. We'll see though. Hopefully I can get it out in time. Yeah. That basically sums it all up for Agatha All Along. It was fun. I enjoyed my time with the show. I'm actually pleasantly surprised by like how it turned out. Yeah, that basically sums it all up. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I will see you for the next one. Ta-ta! And farewell.